So this week we're demonstrating the defense against front bear hug. Here we have the arms over. So you're posting the hips, backing your hips away, creating space, digging your underhook, and then wherever you want to go from there, it's up to you. You can pretty much go anywhere once you've got an underhook. You can stay in and fight or separate. Second position, the guy's got both arms under, but his hips are in and his head is up. So I'm C-gripping the wrist, forming the frame under the chin, and pushing back. You can pummel under, do the same position as last time, or wherever, again, you want to go from there. Once you're free, you can pretty much choose your next move based off of the situation. This situation, Steve has his head in close, so there's no space for me to get my frame across, so I'm going to shrug my shoulder while backing my hips away, either posting the hip or throwing sort of an overhook down on the other arm. I'm going to back away and sort of pivot as well. I'm going to pivot so that my shoulder or shrugging arm is going to shrug into his face or head. Sometimes you try all those options and none of it's working, and so we also have the option, we just can't separate this guy's grip. We can also throw him with a head and arm here. Kind of a basic sag headlock where you're going to throw, especially if your leg is between his legs. Notice here that Steve's locked, his head's in close. I can't get any frames in. I can't do the last technique, and so a good option here is to capture his elbow, twist your hips, and take the man down to the floor. Here we go on the floor, the Kesa gatame. Two things are really common. He's going to try to bridge, so I make sure one of my feet is posted here in the direction that his power is going to go. So you see my leg, if it's not there, he can post, he can bridge easily, but with my leg there, it makes it more difficult. So my other leg's going to be, if that's the 12 o'clock, my other leg will be at the 9 o'clock here, giving myself a nice, good angle to where I can keep pressure on, just keeping the hips maybe a centimeter or an inch off the floor and sagging away to this position. If you're not familiar with it, if you've got a skilled person, they can put quite a bit of pressure in this position, and if you don't know how to get out very well, it can tire you out. Two times you don't want to use this position is when your opponent's really skilled at jiu-jitsu. Obviously, if they should be a master of headlock escapes, but not everyone is, of course. So if you're good at jiu-jitsu and the other person's not, then they're going to be in a miserable situation. The other thing he might try to do is get that elbow to the floor. Notice how I can use my other leg there in a pinch to prevent that elbow from coming down to the floor, right? So I can modify the position there. Sometimes you can trap the arm. This is one good method. There's a little bit of an arm bar here. It's not the strongest one, but you could also, again, if you're thinking self-defense, you could deliver strikes to the face with that arm trapped. And there's also this really, really tight American lock, the Americana here, where you basically bridge your hips at this point and pull in the head, and that is very tight, so be careful in practice. There's a lot of risk to your partner there. Some guys can't even get into the position. It's a very tight position. Sometimes you want to bail. One good way to bail is to pass off and go to the legs. Notice how I roll towards the feet. That's a good rule when you're in a lot of wrestling scrambles, not always, but a lot of times you roll to the legs. Another option here, which is kind of fun, I like to hit this one, and when I'm wrestling, is just roll through to that near side kimura on the arm, from the head and arm. I'm going to demonstrate that one here from the feet. Not too fast, but you can get the idea of how it might work. Where Steve here pummels, he beats me, he's got the underhook, I throw the sag, transition, pivot my hips over, and boom, find myself in a winning position. So that's this week's curriculum. Thanks, guys.